true. Tonight we're talking about peace of mind in a time of chaos. Well, tonight we're beginning with a conversation about the true foundation of personal power. Yes, in a time of global chaos, that peace of mind is what you're seeking. In a world spinning with unrest, from political uproar to economic hardship and personal stress, the most powerful act you can make is to protect your peace of mind. Why? Because peace of mind is the gateway to everything else you want in life. Health, wealth, love, purpose, self-respect, success, clarity, anything and everything you want. Think of your mind as a powerful antenna. When it's calm, focused, and balanced, it receives inspiration from the universe clearly, just like tuning into a perfect radio signal, or Wi-Fi for that matter. But when your mind is disturbed, full of anger, anxiety, or confusion, that signal becomes static. And in that state, the flow of prosperity, which starts in the unseen spiritual realms of thought and creativity above, gets blocked. The natural spiritual pathways the universe is providing or sending you is diverted. You create blocks to the benefits of life that you are entitled to every single day. Remember, thoughts are real things. When I teach a class or do a lecture, I often ask that. Where did the thought come from? Where did it go? How is it I can only think one thought at a time? And as you start to think of that curious yet simple question, you begin to see that thoughts are amazing things. Everything that's created in the world, everything you look around right now where you are, everything that you can see was created first in somebody's mind. And that mind was connected to the universe. The kahunas called it a place of blowing sand, which means thoughts swirled around until they became concrete or a critical mass, if you will. And then they drop down into somebody's mind, and from there they continue to development into becoming anything that you're looking at in front of you right now. That's what it became, but it first started off in the spiritual dimensions as a thought. If your mind is full of resentment or fear or judgment, you're not only disturbing your inner harmony, you're building spiritual roadblocks. One block in your thought becomes another block in your energy, and soon the prosperity meant for you is diverted, it's delayed, or completely stalled. This is why mental balance is spiritual alignment. We often forget that prosperity isn't just about money. It's about flow of love, of creativity, flow of opportunity, flow of vitality. So when your thoughts are loving and peaceful, you're in resonance with divine order. You attract what you need. You see possibilities others don't. You become a magnet for miracles. And what about physical health? It's no coincidence that stress is behind so many illnesses. The body suffers when the mind is at war with itself. When you return to peace, when your thoughts are still, the body heals, energy is restored, and your immune system works better. When you're sick or ill, what do you usually do? You rest, you lie down, you go to bed, and there you find peace. And all those worries and concerns, well, they get thrown out the door because now you're sick, you can't handle them. And so you don't worry about it. You have an excuse not to do those things that are difficult to do. They're put off, perhaps, or they're put asunder, but you don't worry about them anymore because you're concentrating on your health and getting back to normal. Make sense? In these times of chaos, especially in North America, where anger and division are running rampant, the real revolution is internal. It's not about winning arguments. It's about mastering the self. Remember this. The mind that seeks peace will never find it. The mind that chooses peace already has. And this too. Spiritual teachings from the east to the west all agree on this one truth. Peace is not a reward, it's a discipline. And in times of external chaos, peace becomes a sacred act of resistance and resilience. Peace of mind is your greatest superpower. In a world of noise, your peace of mind is your trust signal. It is not escape, but empowerment. When you stay centered in peace, you become a clear receiver of spiritual guidance. Your intuition sharpens, your decisions align, and the path ahead becomes less tangled. Remember, peace is not passive. It is an active choice to respond instead of to react, to trust instead of panic, to breathe instead of brace. Your peace of mind is the doorway through which love, health, and prosperity and clarity walk into your life. It flows to you from the universe. The thoughts that form a block are preventing the natural flows of creativity, of health, of prosperity, of good ideas, of inventions that are coming to your life. Remember, the mind that seeks peace will never find it, but the mind that chooses peace already has it. So guard it, nurture it, choose it again and again. I know that sounds simple, doesn't it? I choose to be peaceful. And then immediately you start going over some argument in your head with someone or something, or you're trying to scheme to figure something out, to plan or invent how to find a solution to some problem in your life, or you're attempting to blame someone else, talk about something that is yet to be acted upon. That's a waste of time. Best not to talk about something over and over and over again. It's best to plan a strategy and implement that strategy. In other words, to work on the problem. And here's a tip. If you have 10 problems that you have to work on and you make a list, usually we start with the most easiest one and all the way down to the hardest one at the bottom. Take the list and turn it upside down. Start with the most difficult thing you need to do. And once you get that done, the next thing on the list is less difficult. And one after that is less difficult again. And again, as you follow down the list, the problems, the challenges are less and less difficult. The magical thing here is that when you start to get halfway down the list, you start to feel purpose, enthusiasm, accomplishment, and you move quickly down the list, and all the problems are solved. So instead of waiting for that difficult thing or problem to challenge you after going through all the easy ones, turn it around and handle the most difficult one first. And you'll see that that's a load off your mind. And you'll feel enthusiastic and energetic at handling this. This is the key to keeping your peace of mind. Life is difficult, yes. It's meant to be. Life is meant to be a struggle. Arnold Schwarzenegger said that. He said it's a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. So get up, struggle, enjoy it. Look what he did with his body. He became a master bodybuilder. And I've seen some of his workouts and the struggle he put himself through. Oh my God. But he had the discipline. And the discipline is to not procrastinate. The discipline is to go ahead and get going, to do it, and then to finish it all the way. My definition of success when I was in my late 20s, as I became associated with more successful people in life, was that I found out that it took them a while to start to do something. You know, somebody would ask would they help or would they get involved in a business or a chore or a task or a program. They would think about it. But once they started, they didn't quit. They went all the way to the end. Now in real life, I observed this. Back in the day when Commodore 64 was just coming on the line, I went to the local high school to find out all about this newfangled device called computer. My wife accompanied me. We were in a classroom that was so full of adult people that people were standing around the outside of the class. It was a 10-week program. Indeed, it was hard, it was difficult. We didn't know what bits were, we didn't know about memory, but we stuck it out. And about the middle of the course, we began to get a little bit of information. But here's the point of this. At the end of the class, with all those people that started out with us, there were only 4, myself, my wife, and 2 other people. We stayed the course because we thought, all right, we're not going to know everything, but we'll know something. And that's when that philosophy of watching wealthy people, successful people, ambitious people, happy people came to fruition for me. You have to stay the course. If you start something, have the discipline to see it through. Life is like a roller coaster. There's up and downs, but as long as you stay on the ride, you get to the end where you're supposed to go. And that's how it is in everything in life. You can't reinvent something that's unreinventable. Put it that way. There's a new word for you. Words of wisdom. If you start something, make a commitment in your own mind. And when that moment comes when you think this is too hard or I'm not interested in it or it's boring or I'll never get it, settle down, bring that peace of mind, that discipline of peace of mind, and go through with whatever you're going to do. And you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll feel accomplishment. And you'll know that you won't bite off more than you can chew. You'll have the wisdom to understand the limits of your capabilities. But you will know one thing, that your word is good to yourself, and then your word can be good to others. Don't ever break your word. Discipline, peace of mind. This is what you're looking for. And to know that you have the confidence of staying the course is so very important to you. No one else. It's important to you, so you have peace of mind. You don't worry. You don't think somebody's going to come up and grab you, be angry with you, or embarrass you, or whatever, because you have the resolute peace of mind. It's so valuable. So here's something. I asked my amigo, that is to say my AI program, to give me 2 minutes of wisdom about peace of mind. So here's what it said back to me. As an AI trained on vast amounts of human experience, psychology, philosophy, and spirituality, I have seen a pattern again and again. Your inner world creates your outer world. Isn't that profound? Every word, emotion, and belief forms part of a personal frequency, a broadcast, if you will. That shapes what you notice, how you feel, and what flows into your life. Your biology listens to your thoughts. So does the universe. I'll repeat that because it is so profound. This is the point of this broadcast. Your biology listens to your thoughts. So does the universe. When peace is missing, my friends, decision-making becomes reactive, not intuitive. Relationships suffer. Sleep declines. Opportunities seem scarce. But when peace is present, people tend to access their higher intelligence, their intuition, their creative insight, and spiritually they are clear in their thinking and understanding. Here's something else that my amigo put forward, tools for daily peace of mind. Number 1, input control. Your mind is a processor. What you feed it matters. So audit your daily intake. Be careful what you put into your mind. Reduce doom scrolling, toxic news, or combative conversations. Full stop. Replace with quiet nature sounds, inspiring podcasts like the Soul Report Live, or reflective silence. These are rules for life. They don't change, they affect everyone. Your mind is a processor. What you feed it matters. Number 2, the 5x5 breath rule. When overwhelmed, breathe in for 5 seconds. Slowly inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 5 seconds. Hold your breath. Then breathe out for 5 seconds. And then hold before you breathe again for 5 seconds. And then repeat for 5 cycles. Scientifically shown to reduce cholesterol and reboot emotional clarity in under 2 minutes. This 5x5 breath rule is known for. Number 3, this is a good one. Remember to do this. Peace alarms. Peace alarms. Set a timer on your phone for 3 random times in a day. And when it rings, pause and ask. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Is this thought bringing me peace or pain? And then, of course, adjust accordingly. Peace is built through awareness. Remember, peace of mind is in a world of noise. Even machines know a calm mind sees further. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back with more on how to keep your peace of mind. Remember, I'll take your questions. Email the Soul Report Live at gmail.com, and Oz is waiting behind the curtain to take your questions and read them to me, and I'll give you my answer. Whatever you want to know about, now's the time. You can put it in the chat as well. So while we're taking a short break, now's your time to email those questions. If I can help you, Jack and I are here to do so. All right, we'll take a short break and be right back.
Are you ready for the future? A future filled with challenges, changes, and opportunities? Discover the New Earth by Douglas James Cottrell, PhD, a groundbreaking guide to understanding the evolution of our planet. Learn how to prepare yourself and your loved ones for the unpredictable. With insights from the Akashic Records and quantum meditation, this book offers precise predictions and practical advice. Explore how geographic areas will be affected and become a co-creator in shaping the new era of our planet. Over 370 pages of essential knowledge. Secure your ultimate guide to the future. Order the New Earth today.
There we go. We're back. Okay. It's great to have you here tonight, my friends. We did have a special guest tonight, Dr. Jane Durst-Pulkys, PhD, to the Soul Report tonight. And she was to be here talking about her new book. I believe I have it here somewhere. I do have it somewhere. It was an important step for her new book. She's a clinical nutritionist, and I'm trying to look for the title here, but I've misplaced it. So I'm sorry about that, my friends, but if I can find it here. Okay, sorry, we'll have to move on. I was going to give her a shout out for her new book. Jack, do we have a...
Yep, The Metabolic Balance Kitchen.
There we go. I'm sure it's available everywhere. Do we have some questions from our wonderful audience tonight, Oz?
Yeah, we do. We've got a few here, yeah. Let's see. This is from YouTube and Eternist. I periodically ask God to show me in a dream if there is a food I need to consume at that time, and I will typically dream it. Just want to encourage others to ask.
That's the key right there. Ask. Remember, my friends, the universe is open, but when I teach, if I have a dream class or I'm teaching about dream interpretation, I know a lot about it. I enjoy dreams, and I'm very good at interpreting them. Matter of fact, if you have one or so, I'll interpret tonight. But the thing is this, you have to ask. And when you ask, one question is all you get per night. And that question has to be one question. It can't be, God, will you please show me what my future husband or wife will look like? Will they have a good job? Will they like to travel? Do they want to have children? Would they like to buy a nice house with me? And will we have a long life? All right, you're all smart out there, and I'm not trying to be too sarcastic, but the point is, one question at a time, like this very good question and very good advice here from our YouTube caller. Is there a food I should be eating? All right, that's a direct question. But I would change that a little bit and say, what kinds of foods would be best for me for health? Okay, that's one question. And you might see yourself sitting down to a table where there's a big roast beef, and you don't like roast beef. And beside it, there's yams and mashed potatoes, grapes, string beans, corn, and then something you don't like spinach or broccoli. What's on the table is the answer to your dream. It's showing you all the different foods that are good for you, even the ones you don't like. Now you can take that again and you can say, am I kind of dream saying, are there any foods I should be avoiding for my best health? And then in the dream, you might see yourself munching on grass in a field. Ooh, that's terrible. I should avoid grass. All right. It's not real grass. It's leaf-like products that look like grass. Could be bamboo shoots. Could be okra. It could be wheatgrass juice. A lot of people are big on that. So the question is, can you add, not the question, the advice is, ask God what's good for you. And I'm embellishing it a little bit by saying, what foods are good for me to strengthen me? You can say to make me wiser, to make me more athletic, to help me lose weight. One question. What foods are helpful to me and for a reason? That's it. The hard part about my friends is sticking to that. Oz, another question?
Yeah. Let's see. I guess this could be for you as well as the doctor, but what is your opinion on fasting for the body to repair? And do you suggest preparations to take before a 2 or 3 day fast?
The answer is affirmative. If you read holy books from ancient times, you'll find that many of the spiritual practices of that particular religion were to have fasts occasionally, annually, periodically. Modern day fasting is a good idea. In the past, fasting was ordained as a practice to get rid of parasites and other intestinal situations that might crop up. From remember, the old world didn't have filters and antiseptics and all those other wonderful things we have today. Now, the good part of that is that we do have filters to take out things in water and other devices. The bad thing about that is that we have filters to take out those things because those things would make us strong. You know, sometimes you have to eat a little dirt to make your immune system stronger. Okay, I'm not telling you to eat dirt, but you get the point. The more filtrated your food is, the weaker your immune system gets because it's not dealing with all those things you would take in that would be, in nature, like water out of a stream, for instance, instead of water out of a water fountain. Now, the point is that fasting in the old days was good for purposes such as that. Not the only one. There were reasons to heighten your spirituality. When you abstain from things, it increases your vitality inward. Whether you're celibate, whether you're not eating meat at all, whether you're just going on a water or juice fast, you're changing the way you ingest food, things coming to you, which means that your digestive system is now dormant or almost dormant, but your elimination system is heightened. And so your elimination system gets rid of all the bad things in your body that otherwise it would be paired off with, food coming in, nutrition coming in, digestive taking place, elimination process, taking the good out of the food and rejecting the rest. Well, if you don't have anything new coming in, then the rejection becomes a curative means of getting rid of whatever's in your body and accelerating, increasing that ability to get rid of impurities. So fasting is good for a few days. I've not done it any more than 3 days myself. A good rule of thumb for a fast was the late great Edgar Cayce produced a fast which he called the apple diet. For 3 days, you ate apples any way you wanted, sliced, diced, mushed. You ate it raw from the core. You took a large spoon of olive oil on the first day in the evening, and you did so on the second evening. And during the days, you drank 7 to 10 large glasses of water for 3 days. Now, that's not really a fast, meaning nothing going in, but the apples and the combination of the water and the olive oil had the ability to act as a catalyst to assist the kidneys in removing impurities from the body. Now, there's all kinds of fasts, and there's all kinds of diets. I was going to ask our guest tonight about what's called the grape diet. A friend of mine goes on long fast for a month or more, eating absolutely nothing but grapes. And he's convinced it has helped his health and removed disease from his body. He's done it about once a year for the last 3 years. To absolutely take nothing into the body, that takes a lot of discipline. I think fluid like water or juices are very helpful. Vegetable juices are a way of keeping the vitamin content high. So if you're going to absolutely go into some type of fast, go slowly. Drink teas, drink water, stay away from carbonated drinks. Ease into it. Of course, if you're an old pro, meaning that your whole family has been fasting for generations, then you're more apt to be able to have a good time with fasting for a month or whatever the duration is. It's absolutely a benefit, let me assure you. Oz?
Yeah, we do have a comment from Carrie on YouTube saying, wonderful practical information needs to be taught in schools and churches. Then we got a question.
If they're referring to what we're giving out, well, we do have a church. It's on YouTube. It's called Many Mansions Spiritual Center, or Many Mansions International Ministry. And we do have wonderful clergy, intuitive people, because we're an interfaith ministry and we're practical, spiritual people. We have because we're in the West, we're practical. We practice what we call practical Christianity. But like the Christ, we go to all the world and we find truth in all the world's great religions. And one of our core beliefs is that there's only one mountain, and on top of that mountain is God. To get to God, there are many paths up that same mountain, but there's only one peak and there's only one God. So come out to our services if you care to, but we do have books. Jack Balick has his new book out called, what is it again, Jack?
Lost in Time, Our Forgotten and Vanishing Knowledge. Yeah.
Say it again, just so people maybe didn't hear it like me.
Lost in Time, Our Forgotten and Vanishing Knowledge.
And that's published by who?
Well, Mill City Press is the publisher, but it's on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can pick it up.
Okay, Barnes & Noble is the word I was looking for. Okay, next question.
Yeah, this is from Sybil Farmer on YouTube. I had a dream that a woman had 130 children, and I thought it was with different men, but it was one man. She just kept having children. What could that mean?
Well, first thing is that's a symbolic dream, and the 130 children would be, let's face it, impossible, because to have a child every 9 months, one would soon run out of lifetime to do so. So we have to look at it symbolically. There was a woman, and she had a number of children with one man, one person. So that one person is God. That one man that creates life, that's God. This woman who has these children is probably the dreamer who's had 133 lifetimes where they've been a mother. And because of that, they are a mother to the world and to everyone. This is a very old soul, and it might be remembering that the husband, God, has endowed her with fertility, with fortune, with good things. Children represent trials and tribulations or they're wonderful gifts from God. I'm going to take this the latter. This is a dream of prosperity and love. Love from God. Oz?
Yeah, it's very nice. I think that's the questions we have at the moment. I'll see if we have some more here. Here's some from Facebook from Karen. Any advice for diet for breast cancer survivors?
Okay. For all disease in the body, you can take a litmus paper and you can touch your tongue or you can touch your urine, and it will tell you one of two things: if the body is more acidic or more alkaline. So it's a simple test. If you can keep your body balanced, slightly imbalanced to more alkaline, that kills off disease. No virus can exist in a body that's slightly more alkaline than acidic. The body goes back and forth. I believe that's a way of curing the common cold and flu as well, keeping your body slightly more alkaline. Eating foods and taking drinks that are alkaline based, and it keeps your body more alkaline. You can get a food chart or something like that. So that's number one. For recovering from breast cancer, then you have to have regular myofascia massage. And what that does is it stimulates the fluid in the body, the lymphatic fluid, and it helps to get rid of the poison and toxins that go through the lymph system naturally. And so all the foods for that would be keeping your body healthy, preventing cancer of any types, are nutrition-based foods. And I'm talking about sprouts from beans and seeds. They're the highest amount of nutrition for the least amount of intake of food. And then you simply eat naturally. I like a Mediterranean diet myself. Fish, fowl, or lamb, baked, boiled, or broiled. Keep your meat up, keep your protein up, keep your strength up. And then any particular food that cleans the arteries, like oregano, for instance. You can do a search and get a list of foods that are beneficial in cleansing the blood. The blood is important for cancer survivors and for everyone else. The blood circulates everything: the poisons, the toxins, the vitamins, the nutrition, the protein. It goes to every nook and cranny of the body, including the skin. And then the third thing, or last thing, is to keep your bowel movements regular, keep the body eliminating every single day. Do whatever you can. Eating foods like, let's say, pears, but peel the pear first. Eating whatever foods make you go to the washroom, hurry curry, as it once is said. That's what you need to keep eliminations up, particularly getting rid of physical congress. That'll do it. You'll be healthy. Keep the body strong. Do isometric exercises, yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates. You know, Edgar Cayce once said, after breakfast, work a while. After lunch, rest a while. After supper, walk a mile. Good advice. Oz?
Yeah, got a message in for someone that says they have gout. And is there any foods that you would recommend or not recommend for that?
Cherries, number one. Eat as many cherries as you can. Drink cherry juice. That will help get rid of the gout. The gout is basically plaque that's forming in the small little arteries, not arteries, but little blood vessels in your toes. So having any kind of, cherries are number one. Having any kind of blood cleansing foods would help as well. Don't eat fatty substances. Stay away from sugars, chocolate, icing from donuts, any kind of pastry or dough. Stay away from that. You want to increase the eliminations, even if you have to give yourself an enema every day. And as much as that hurts, and for people who have not had gout, it's like this. You're laying in bed, you got your feet up, somebody puts a sheet or a blanket on top of you, and you want to go through the roof. It hurts so much. That's how painful it is. Directly on the affected toe, you can put hot water. You can use the castor oil on it, and there's a substance. I don't have any financial gain in this. It's called Live Relief. I've used it, and it does work well to get rid of that pain. But it's the substances jamming up in your arteries. Okay? Next up after that is a nasty thing called plantar fasciitis. You don't want that either. So take it easy, take off your shoes, walk on the grass, because we're not grounded. We're meant to walk on ground. We're not meant to walk on plastic shoes or anything that's not organic. That's stopping us from being grounded. Have you ever noticed, Jack, when you're out there on the beach, you want to dig your toes into the sand? It feels so good.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
you
it does.
in the
Yeah,
grass and you rub your feet. Why is that? Because
that,
it's natural.
yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Good. So wherever you are, I'm not suggesting here up north where you go out and take your snow boots off and rub your feet in the snow. Okay? Not at all. But wherever you go, take off your shoes. You can get grounding mats now or sheets, and be careful. You have to be sure that they're the right ones, that somebody's got some good products out there that actually ground your body. Okay? You can check it out online. It's called, I think they're called earth grounding mats. It was invented by one fellow who said it took inflammation out and made the body work better. You can go out and hug a tree. You can step on the grass. You can walk barefoot somewhere. And if you look at people who are those people who drive buggies, horse and buggies, they walk with no shoes or socks. And what does that tell you? They enjoy it. I think you have to start from a young age, but in colder weathers, I think you can wear mucklucks and boots if you have to. But sandals that are made out of foam and things like that, my suggestion is use leather or something that's made out of organic material. That grounds you out. However, back to the question. The cherry juice is good. The Live Relief cream is good, or any other cream that will relieve your pain. Okay, next.
Yeah. We got another question on YouTube from Beto Herman. I had a dream when I was 20 years old that I was holding a baby girl in my arms and crying. I don't have kids and I'm in my late 40s. What do you think that means?
Exactly. You were crying because you didn't have a child. And here you are not with a child. But the opportunity is there. That's the child in your arms, a babe in arms. So the grief is that you didn't have a child in your life, but if you choose to do so, you can still have a little baby girl. At 40, you're still a young man. I'm assuming it's a man.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. It's a dream showing you the future of a choice. And I always meet people, and I don't want anybody to think I'm saying this for any other reason other than just a personal opinion. I've always found that people who do not have children later in their life, when they're sitting in the retirement home and everybody else's grandchildren are coming to visit them, they are so upset with themselves. They grieve that they didn't have children themselves because they wanted a better career, or they wanted to travel, or they just didn't think they would make a good enough parent, whatever. Grandchildren are worth their weight in gold, especially when you're old. Think about it. But of course, to have grandchildren, you have to have children. And sometimes people with children wish they didn't. I know it can be a chore. But you get as good as you give, put it that way. Next question.
Let's see. I think maybe I'm checking other places here to see if we got some. Oh, I had a dream last night that bees were buzzing around my head, and I was trying to find like something to put over my head to protect myself. And I know what that dream was about because I know how my day went.
That's right. When bees are buzzing around your head, it's all the activities you got going. Busy as a bee.
Yep.
They're not mosquitoes, so they're not pests, but they're not bees are not comfortable. They can sting you, but that just means you're too busy. Too many
Yep.
thoughts. Your mind's in a whirlwind. For people who are listening,
Yeah. That's how my day was.
there you go. I was going to tell you, it's going to be one of those challenging days, but you got to look for the honey. Where's the reward?
The honey. Yeah. It was good.
Which could mean that you are selling about another 1,000 of your wonderful, amazing book.
Yeah, that'd be great. Everybody buy one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a garage full of mine here. See this one, The Secrets of Life? That was my first book. Over here is called The New Earth. That is a book of prophecy. It was written, prophecies from about 2010 and before, about world events that are coming true. 85% of the predictions have come true, and the rest are yet to be coming true. There's my conversations with the Akashic right there. That's a fantastic book about the Akashic fields. Go to my website, douglasjamescottrell.com, and I will be pleased to autograph the book for you for free. Because I have these books in storage, I autograph every single one. And for free. And the books are at a pretty reasonable price as well. So douglasjamescottrell.com is the place to go. Okay, so we're just about another 10 minutes in the show, my friends. Email us, thesoulreportlive@gmail.com right now, and I'll answer your question along with my good friend Oz, the co-producer here, behind the curtain. Or you can right now send a question in the chat if you're listening to our live broadcast. Jack, we're one of the few podcasts that actually are broadcasting live and providing a service like this, teaching and having a narrow focus in helping everyone open up their abilities, their intuition, their spiritual gifts. We're here to teach you, and not only teach you, but to inform you, to explain what the spiritual gifts and abilities are, and how to develop a proper way to be successful in life. The title of tonight's show, peace of mind in a time of chaos. The most important thing you can do in mastering your mind is to have peace of mind at all times. It's extremely difficult to do, and it takes maybe a lifetime. But the sooner you get started, the better it is. Remember, the mind that seeks peace will never find it. The mind that chooses peace already has it. It's a very good discipline to develop. Peace is not a reward, it's a discipline in itself. Remember, peace of mind is your greatest superpower. Do we have another question or two in the time remaining?
Let's see. Just checking here.
Remember, Your soul and wisdom, your soul seeks wisdom, and you need to practice that wisdom. Dreams are your magic mirror. I've learned to live my life by dreams. I've seen my house, my pets, my cars, trips I've taken, people I was going to meet, people I was going to meet and not to avoid, because sometimes they were not nice people. But your dreams forecast everything that's going to happen in your life. I know someone's thinking, but I don't dream. I can't see the future. And the thing is this, it's not that you can't dream, it's that you don't remember them. You don't recall them. But you've had up to 4 dreams every night. Scientists who do sleep therapy and dream therapy, dream research, confirm it's at least 4 dreams every night. So prepare yourself to remember your dreams in the morning and write down, even if it's only just a glimpse of a dream. Or perhaps you have a wonderful feeling, but you can't remember the dream. Or perhaps you have a song or numbers or a vision or a scene. My mother came to visit me recently. I'm 76. And as I saw her standing there, I went over and I told her I loved her and I gave her a big, big hug. And I said, I'm sorry I don't do this often enough. Was that just a fragment of my imagination? Was that wishful thinking? Was I grieving for my mother that passed away several years ago? No, it was my mother in a room presenting herself to me. She was actually talking. And I went over and I gave her a big hug. And that was a real visitation. So dreams are much more than instruction, revelations, warnings, direction, helping you make decisions. There's a lot that goes on when you're asleep. That is to say, the body and the conscious mind. But the super subconscious mind, that part of you that truly is you, that's the part of you that continues on after your last day here in the world. That's you. And that's the part that has the ability to visit the higher dimensions. And the more you do it, it's like a new playground. The more you explore, as Crocodile Dundee would say, he went on walkabout to find out about the territory and the country he was in. That's what you're doing in a dream state. The sooner you learn, because you'll remember. You'll actually remember your dreams and get in touch with your high self or soul mind. So, Oz, we have a couple more questions.
Well, I was taking a look. They've done studies for people who they've prevented from going into REM sleep loss, and say it can cause long-term health issues, including memory problems and higher risks of mortality. So dreaming is an important part of your health.
Sure it is. I think it's more important than waking, because when you're asleep, that's when your subconscious does all the body repairing. It's accelerated. If you have a wound on your body, it heals up faster when you sleep. Your body is secreting hormones and enzymes and all those things. The blood flow is directed. All this is being done while you're asleep and while you're dreaming, so to speak. But that's the high self or soul mind taking over. When you go to sleep as your physical self, the spiritual self wakes up, if you want to look at it like one's asleep and one's awake. But they can't be awake at the same time unless you practice meditation. And in quantum meditation, you are half asleep and half awake. It's what I teach and what I do. And so it shows you can get in contact with both of those minds, if you will. Whether when you sleep or when you're in that state of relaxation, peace is in your mind, peace is in your body, and good things are happening. Make sense?
Say,
Okay.
Douglas, do you think two people could dream the same dream and be in the same dream at the same time?
Yes, absolutely. Because when they're dreaming, they're not dreaming symbolically message. They actually have a visitation dream. They have, if you will, soul projected out of their body, and they're in the same spiritual dimension, the same place, if you will. And so they recognize each other. Perhaps they hold each other dearly. Perhaps they fight with one another. But together, there they are. And they remember the same dream happen at the same night. I remember when I had a course in Hamilton, I think it was, maybe it was in Spain. There were two people in the class that never met each other, and the class went on for a weekend. And so when we got to the dream part of the class on the second day, one person on the left side of the room started telling me about the dream, and then they pointed to somebody on the other side of the room, and I said, "That lady over there looks like the person that was in my dream." And she had already described the dream, and the lady on the other side of the room stood up and said, "That's right, I recognize you. You were in my dream." So two perfect strangers being in a physical place on a spiritual class or in a spiritual retreat had a dream where they each were in the dream and they knew each other in the dream. Well, needless to say, for the rest of the weekend, they became best friends because they knew each other from a previous experience or because they had such an affinity to be in the same dream. Other people, husband and wife, sometimes will have half the dream each. That's called a dual dream or a dream that's a tandem dream. And one has the first half and the other has the second half in the same night. So it's very possible because when you're up there, you're in the universe. Right behind me, see? Are you on that star or that star? But you're in the same universe. Remember, quantum physics and quantum mechanics are starting to show that even at miles, hundreds and thousands of miles away, two minds, two things can be linked up in the physics, and they turn simultaneously but opposite. They're linked. How can that be? Well, because that's the way it really is. We're all linked up. Even our enemies, even the people that make you disgusted and feel like you're afraid of them, they're linked up to you somehow. So whatever the suffering is, that's where the lesson is learned. And in the dreams, I was recently warned about somebody coming into my life who was going to be a so-and-so. And sure enough, they showed up and they were a so-and-so. Misguided though it would mean. But I've also seen the end result of this situation with this person. It's not going to be nice. So the dream was telling me, look out, here it comes, incoming. But don't worry, the person's going to be isolated after a while. And so while the person is there in my life, it's difficult and it's suffering. But what is the lesson when you suffer? Because you see, suffering is something the universe sent to you. You're suffering when you don't know something. You're suffering because you're not handling something correctly. You're suffering because you've lost your peace of mind. You can deal with bullies, you can deal with bad things in life, but by keeping your peace of mind, you'll find the solution, whatever it is, much faster. Usually it's something you've never done before. It's something you never would have thought of doing. And it's also something you dread doing. You just don't want to do it. But until you do it, it's called doing your duty. This problem will manifest over and over and over again. Once you do your duty, because nobody else is going to do it for you, it's your duty to do what you see. Good, bad, or ugly, it's brought to a head and you went through it. You handled it. Doing something you didn't want to do, weren't used to doing, but it was something that needed to be done. The problem will never come back in your life. Never. Because the problem was there for you to learn something. And through that suffering, you've learned the problem doesn't need to come back because you've learned a lesson. See how smart, how ingenious, how creative, and perhaps how sneaky the soul mind is all about. It presents something to you that you don't want to do, you dislike, but it's good for you. And so you can keep your peace of mind by saying, yep, this is good for me. I don't like it, but I'm going to stick up for this. I'm going to do this. Okay. You got another one, Oz, or are we just about near the end?
Yep, I think that's it for this evening.
Okay, well, we'll close out with this. More information. Data, in this is my Amigos data informed tool for daily peace of mind processing. Write this down, record it. It's really just some simple stuff to remember. Number one, input control. Your mind is a processor. What you feed it matters. Audit your daily intake. Be careful what gets into your mind. Reduce doom scrolling toxic news or combative conversations. Replace with quiet nature sounds, inspiring podcasts, or reflective silence. I know I've said this earlier in the service, whoever's thinking that. The 5x5 breath rule. It's basically you inhale very slowly for 5 seconds. There are things like alternate nasal breathing techniques. They do something similar, but you inhale for 5 seconds very slowly. You hold the breath for 5 seconds slowly. Then you exhale for 5 seconds very slowly. And then, this is the most important part because it's what I teach in meditation, you do not inhale for 5 seconds as well. And then you start the process all over again. Slowly inhale for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, exhale very slowly for 5 seconds, and don't breathe in again. And you do that for 5 cycles. Scientifically shown, this is scientifically shown to reduce cholesterol and reboot emotional clarity in under 2 minutes. Number 3, peace alarms. Remember to set your alarm on your phone randomly 3 times in a day, and when it rings, pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Write it down. Then you say, or analyzing or study, is this thought bringing me peace or pain? And then you'll be able to see how you can gain control of yourself, peace of mind, and you can adjust accordingly. Peace is built through this kind of awareness. So as we move towards the end of the show, remember, daily practice for peace of mind, start with your day in stillness. Even 5 minutes of quiet breathing before sunrise can change the course of your day. Number 2, guard your thoughts. When a negative idea enters your mind, pause and say, is this helping or hurting me? Then choose a better one. What I usually say is, I'm not going to do this. Whatever I'm thinking of doing. I say, I'm not going to do that. And that tells me that what I was thinking of doing, whatever it was, I'm not going to do it so that the thought doesn't come back. Number 3, bless everything. Simply, I am grateful, God, for my supper, my food. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful even for my problems because they're lessons I'm learning. What you bless transforms. And so if you fear your problems, you're going to have a lot more because we always get what we fear. But what we're grateful for, it evaporates. We are grateful for the process. Number 4, disconnect to reconnect. Take intentional breaks from social media or news overload. Return to some quiet place, play some music or be in silence, go to nature. Turn off the lights, close your eyes, and just breathe the 5 cycles by 5 times. Whatever. Go outside and walk in the grass. Sometimes when I'm cooped up in the house all day, I open the sliding glass door windows here and I step outside and I breathe some fresh air. Even though I'm in the house for most of the day, that moment refreshes, recharges, and restarts my thinking. Number 5, and this is the greatest of all, Gratitude resets the mind. Every night, list 3 things you are grateful for, especially the ones that surprised you. Remember, my friends, your spiritual path is a daily practice of remembering who you really are. The divine didn't put you here to suffer endlessly, but to learn and to serve. As you maintain your inner peace, you become part of the solution, and you clear a way for the prosperity that flows to you. When you lose your peace of mind, those flows are blocked. Remember that. It's a spiritual process. Okay? So I'm wishing you a very good week, and we'll see you right here on the Soul Report Live. We have another fantastic guest coming. We have Dr. Draven James, who has a new book, Forgiveness is the Pathway to Happiness. Join us next week, same time, here on the Soul Report Live. Please subscribe to this channel. Please click the boxes, ring the bell, whatever is necessary. It helps support us because it allows us, the more people that are here on our channel, allows us to reach out further. The powers that be that run this station, the more people that come, the more people we can offer. Okay, so I appreciate that. My good friend and co-host Jack Balick is here tonight. I'm your host and co-host Dr. Douglas James Cottrell, and you're listening to the Soul Report Live here on YouTube and wherever good podcasts are broadcast. So with that, I've lost my closing script, you see. So I got a little challenge here. So anyway, I'll say good night. Good luck and God bless, my friends. See you right here next week.